So this could be totally sus, man. That's a tweet from Elon Musk. On the channel, if you're new, we've been kind of talking about the idea that possibly the wealthiest and most powerful man in the world is watching my show, because many times he would tweet things that were in relation to what I just released, and the world doesn't revolve around me. But when I did question this as kind of a goof, he then tweeted out a meme featuring the biblical character Jacob Israel wrestling with an angel. So it kind of sunk in that perhaps it's a possibility God can bring little people like myself to such a man. Recently, Elon took a little bit of a break from Twitter, and I wrote that perhaps he was using an alias, the Tesla AI bot, perhaps out of respect for my 7-Eleven video, which you're about to watch, and it's going to blow your mind. But I had to add this because Elon began tweeting again. Perhaps he was doing it under an alias, but now he is back. But at the time, after I did my video about why he was absent and that he would soon return, the Tesla AI bot actually wrote back, perhaps. It's very strange. As I was about to do my show, and I released my show about 7-Eleven, I had no idea how much more there was to uncover. You're about to find out on the show. But I got excited because here's the Tesla AI bot who could be that mock account. And I'm wondering, did Elon actually respond with perhaps? Because perhaps was what I was saying. Perhaps he's using a fake account. Perhaps he's waiting for my video to be released. We're playing this little bit of a game. I was questioning. Thanks for playing, I said. Well, his first tweet back was sort of a shout out to a YouTuber who just died of cancer, Technoblade. But the first tweet was about, if you leave the game, stay safe, stay alert, and whatever you do, don't die. Because if you die outside your own game, you don't regenerate. Game over. Are we playing a game, Elon? That was my question. I was wondering. Not that I think we really are, but how cool would that be? Now this is where it gets strange. Exactly 10 minutes after posting a tweet about the Tesla AI bot responding to my perhaps tweet with perhaps, his second tweet, Elon returned to Twitter with this, feeling perhaps a little bored, and then followed it up with a tweet of him meeting the Pope. Very strange. Buckle up, people. This is going to be a cool show. Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again, and would you go figure about this one? Just when you think you've gotten a little kookadoo with some of your shows lately, last one being all about Elon Musk and tweeting out that 7-Eleven. If you haven't seen the show that I just did, you need to check it out. He tweets that out. Then he goes Twitter silent. Unless, of course, he's under some kind of other name. That being possibly the Tesla AI bot, which sounds like him, acts like him, and also says, I'm Elon Musk many times. And also has been in communication with me more than once. Like the first time that it went online, supposedly, and then like 1 year exactly from when it first contacted me, and then, go figure, just yesterday. Could you believe that?
kind of the goof was, right? He's waiting to tweet because I haven't released my show on 7-Eleven and all the things that you just saw because I taped it like a while ago. Then I had another show and another show and another show that kind of took preeminence over it, but he stopped tweeting, so it made the 7-Eleven relevant. I had no idea how relevant, and I had no idea how kooky this was, because after I went offline, one person after another person sent me stuff. 7-Eleven's all over the place right now, and I'm not just talking about free Slurpees. I put the challenge out. Is he going to respond? Is he going to go back to Twitter? I actually tweeted something. Catalina, whoever she is, put out, Elon Musk, where are you? It was what I started my video with. I started my video with this tweet. The Where's Waldo, right? Which somebody even said, look what's on TV. Where's Waldo's on TV on my news. Puts that tweet out, and then I wrote, perhaps he's still tweeting under an alias at Tesla AI bot. And perhaps, out of respect for my 7-Eleven video, he's not tweeting until after its release. You'll see why when it's released, especially if his tweets return immediately thereafter. Now, I didn't notice this until today, but it turns out the Tesla AI bot responded to me. Check it out. I drew this whole thing about perhaps, right? And it goes back with the meme from Family Guy, perhaps. And that is the least kooky thing about today's show. Whether or not that be Elon Musk, we don't know, but for some reason, that 7-Eleven tweet is still there. And let me tell you, it's connected to everything. All these other things that just innocuously came to me. Like Vince McMahon. I just did a show about Vince McMahon. Remember the scandal? The big payout? I did a live stream. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I used to be the head writer there between 99 and 2001. When they were losing in the ratings and they became the best in the ratings, and then I left and they haven't gotten half of the audience back. I wonder why that is. Thanks be to God, of course, because God blesses those that bless me, curses those that curse me. The scripture says, if you're serving God, that's what you can get in life. Vince McMahon came out and he was supposed to address to everybody, and everybody thought he was going to say something about the scandal, but he didn't. He quoted his tagline. Which is connected to 7-Eleven, which is connected to a totem pole, which is connected to Elon Musk. Oh, weird. So let's peel back these layers, shall we? So you see, part of the reason why I didn't get that show out in a timely manner, because right after he put that tweet out about 7-Eleven, the gas being 7-Eleven, and then Tesla stock ended at 7-Eleven, and of course he deleted that. We talked about this on the show. I wanted to release the show, but the vampire show, I had to do it, right? You remember Vlad, the vampire hunter? I was just eating this, see, everybody was giving me a hard time. It was the only cereal that was like around. We don't eat cereal much, but it was like Apple Jacks. Everybody's giving me a hard time. They said, I'm going to die. I'm going to die because of the Apple Jacks. Okay, well, remember Vlad? He came and he visited me. Yakov! Hello! Oh, hello! Can't. Hello, Yakov! Who are you? Who are you now? Should be super obvious who I am. I am Vlad. vampire hunter, most charming and sexy and amazing vampire hunter, and I have a message for you. Well, a lot of you told me some things that I didn't even know. If you haven't seen that show, it's pretty funny. Check it out. And if you like those skits, believe it, I love making people laugh, and I have a lot of characters that bounce around in this head over here I'd love to share with you. But people, they reached out to me. They said things like, did you know that they can't have garlic in the castle? I'm like, I'm going to call cap on that one. And for the people over, the age of 45, I'm 51, cap means that's like a lie. Just so you know, that's like the, like totally sus. I'm like a year or two behind on the catchphrases, but I'm going to call cap on that is what I first thought. Come on, there's no way there's no garlic in that. Turns out there is no garlic allowed at the palace at all. In fact, many big-time publications talk about this. It's no secret the royal family lives by a set of rules that are different. One of the rules is garlic is prohibited. Prohibited. Now, that wouldn't be so weird, except for the fact that I can't tell you how many of you told me that, the prince is a direct relation to actually Count Dracula. Vlad the Impaler. Like, legitimately, the royal family has links to several countries in Europe, including Romania. Turns out Prince Charles is the descendant of the real-life Dracula. This is, like, real, okay? So Kate Middleton wearing the vampire's wife's dress, not such a stretch, I guess. They're connected. It's not as weird as a 7-Eleven. Wait till I get there. So I was doing that show, and I never got around to sharing the last one. But after I shared the last one, oh my goodness, I got so many cool things coming my way. I got AJ Terrell. I hope that's the way I pronounce your name, unless it's Aj Terrell. I don't know. But AJ Terrell on Twitter reminded me, because his favorite team is like in the news. Now, I missed this because Tone, Anthony, and Ethan were talking about this all day, about basketball, about Kevin Durant, who's like, I want out. And Kyrie Irving saying, I'm going to go to the Lakers. This was like yesterday's news. It like broke right after the show. Now, what's weird about that is I tweeted this out. AJ reminds me, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, huge news on the same day as my 7-Eleven tweet, right? Because they're both very outspoken against the wackadoo and the mandates and all that stuff. It's very interesting. The pictures of them together, 7-Eleven, totally sus, man. Then everybody was telling me, oh, well, maybe something's going down at 7-Eleven. Right? Maybe something bad's happening. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to think the worst. You know me, because of our thoughts do create. We have the power to create. We the power of life and death is in our tongue. It's important the words that we speak. And I know now that I'm reaching a lot more people. So if I say things and people start to believe it, I don't know. Maybe faith makes things happen. Like you can say to that mountain, move into the sea. And we've done that on the channel. We've prayed for things to move and they move, right? We've prayed for things to end and they end. We've seen a lot of miraculous things. God is definitely moving. It has nothing to do with me. I don't know what I'm doing. You know that. But I notice after all of this news that Amazon is doing some kind of disaster thing in New York. They put out a tweet. A natural disaster could be, well, disastrous to your workload. Join us in NYC on 7-Eleven for an all-day deep dive into building more resilient structures, architecture. So now Amazon's going to do everything. Strange that, the Trumpster is very connected to New York City. And of course, some people thought it was strange that he was in the commercial, because I used to sell mattresses where you saw the sheep, the 9/11 in the commercial, this thing. people remembered where he messed up the speech. And they told me, a bunch of people told me this. Remember when he said 7-Eleven instead of 9/11? Gets weirder than that, though.
Down on 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center, right after it came down. And I saw the greatest people.
It gets weirder than that, though, if you can believe it or not, because as I'm at the gym this morning and I'm in prayer again, what am I supposed to do? I have another show about a very big, popular figure that everybody thinks is so great, and I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it maybe in the next show. We'll see. But this, when I was praying, what am I supposed to do? And I didn't know if I was supposed to do this other show. This comes to me. And it just blows my mind. It was like God was bringing me right back to 7-Eleven. Then I open my email. And then I get an email from this sweet, wonderful lady named Sabine Vleming, who has a YouTube channel, like an awesome YouTube channel. She, very similar, I guess, to mine, talks about astrological events and a lot of things and ties it to scripture. Very cool. I've watched a couple of her shows and we've emailed back and forth because I used one of her shows as research for one of my shows, and she started watching my show. So now here we are in contact with each other. And it was the timing of her sending me this email and me looking at everything that just blew my mind, because she didn't know that she was sharing things about 7-Eleven that I already was thinking about, but having something to do with it that is completely not connected to what she was sharing. So it was a confirmation of sorts. It was what we would call synchronicity. Or, as the commenter in the live chat yesterday said, synchronicity indeed, as I mentioned the word 7-Eleven at exactly 7:11 Eastern Standard Time, and there were exactly 911 people watching at that moment. I pinned that comment because I thought it was cool and I wanted to remember it. And now I told all you about it. It's weird, of course, because 7-Eleven and 9/11, very interesting numbers, and they're sort of connected. So it's not so much like, is something terrible going to happen on 7-Eleven? Besides, maybe Elon Musk will start tweeting again. Unless he's already been tweeting and he's literally in connection, connected to me and watching and everything else. And I say, God bless you, Elon. Ironically, I had a dream months and months ago. I had a dream a while ago where I went back in time, and it was like 1989, and I had a couple of dimes in my pocket. There were still payphones and everything else, but I had my cell phone, and I had a lot of other things. And all I could do was I needed to find Elon Musk, and the reason was I wanted him to know that he had to be good, that we needed somebody to know God, and that God had a plan for him. Weird dream, right? Weird dream. Weirder still, it'd be cool if it actually happened. Because who knows? So Sabine sends me this email. Hello, dear Jacob. I love it. Dear Jacob. See, that's Sabine's sweet. I enjoyed your report on 7-Eleven. This is a fragment from past set of research notes about 7-Eleven. May be interesting to you. First thing she shares, which I think is great, is Genesis 7:11. It's about the flood. Okay, the 11 in the 600th year. Now that's why that stood out to me. Not just about the flood, right? The 600th year of Noah's life. That's important. You're going to find out why in a moment. In the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up and the windows of heaven were opened. In the 600th year, the flood came. Right? Now, what is heaven, right? The kingdom of heaven is within you. What would be the floodgates of heaven? Symbolically speaking, it's a beautiful picture. Not so beautiful for the people that literally drowned and all of that. And that was pretty bad. But spiritually speaking, you want the floodgates to open. Bring the rain, Lord. Bring that latter rain. Could it be that this is what could be coming on a spiritual level? While maybe something terrible happens in the world? I don't know. But that's what I'm hoping for. Right? Now, Hebrews, the next thing, Hebrews 11:7. And this isn't even the cool stuff, so just bear with me, but it's cool spiritually speaking. Because Hebrews 11:7, one of the odds, by faith, Noah being warned of God of things not yet seen, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became an heir of righteousness. What have I been doing on the channel? Telling you to get the ark ready. I've had videos, right? Build the ark. Get in the ark. The flood's coming. The flood's here, right? It's about preparing you. What is the ark? The Ark of the Covenant. Same thing that Moses was put in. We're the ark, believe it or not. We're the temple of God, the Most High. This is where God resides now. Prepare it. Prepare your heart so that you can be saved, so you cannot condemn the world and the ways of the world. It's time to let go of hate. It's time to love. Here's what's weird, okay? 7-Eleven hidden in plain sight is actually 9/11, supposedly, okay? 7-Eleven is the word September. Sept is 7, right? But it's the 9th month. I said this to Danielle. I don't know how, because some people say, "Oh, you're so smart." I'm not. I never really paid too much attention to the fact that September means 7, October means 8, right? November means 9, December means 10, but yet December's the 12th month, November's, right, the 11th. It makes no sense. So really, 7-Eleven would be September 11, almost a code, which is weird because, of course, I put September 11, 2022 in my novel, Entered into Evidence. This is an old copy, so it's at the front of the book, but you find this in the back of the book, the back of the second release. But Entered into Evidence, 9/11, 2022. About the big threat that we're about to face, that it's going to be a pretty tough time. Very interesting, because if September 11th, right, is actually 7-Eleven, that's strange. I didn't know that before. Then she shared all of these wonderful pictures of this breakdown, where, of course, that terrible day that happened. There was Building 7, 7-Eleven. And that, what I found really interesting, now, once again, I didn't fact check any of this, but I did find this really cool, that the Building 7 was built halfway during the construction of the twins, 11. And she wrote, "We're told as the bride to go out and meet the Lord halfway. With 11, we find Eve, the woman," she said in that title, and ELE, or extinction level event. That's disturbing, Sabine. I mean, why you gotta send that to me, right? 7, is there something that's coming? Is that the reason why Elon Musk has gone dark? Is it connected to that comet? There's a comet out there, like the biggest one that was the farthest one. It's gonna be close to the Earth. I don't know. All right? I don't know. I'm hoping that once again it's something beautiful, something spiritually, something wonderful. But 7-Eleven is very strange, right? It's kind of it's out there right now. And I wouldn't have thought it was too kooky, except for the fact that 7-Eleven stores were once called totem stores, like totem, right? That's what they started. They changed the name to 7-Eleven, but they were called totem. And this blew my mind. Why did it blow my mind? Because just a little while ago, I stumbled across an article about a huge totem pole that is right now on display in Alaska. Big one. It's like it's one of a kind, or like one of 4 or something. It's in I guess it's Juneau, Alaska. It's the first 360-degree totem pole in Alaska, installed in Juneau. I don't know, Juneau, June, whatever. And it was on the 8th, June 8th. They dedicated it, and guess when the news broke? The news broke on the same day that all this stuff it goes down. Very interesting. But the Salaska cultural values totem pole is different in other ways. It represents all 3 tribes of Southeast Alaska. There are 3 different tribes. They have different languages. They're very different, right? But they're all coming together with these common goals. Values run across these 3 groups are contributed to the survival of our native people, they said. In the Tigligit language, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. You know I don't know how to read, right? Those values are a word I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but they stand for our strength, strength of body, strength of mind, strength of spirit, and our land, honoring and utilizing our land, and also past, present, and future, honoring our ancestors and future generations. It's about balance, social and spiritual balance. Balance in all things. Reminds me a lot of their totem pole. You know, their 10 commandments. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance. With me. Very strange. Stranger still is their value, past, present, and we're in this together, was exactly what Vince McMahon said. Basically on the same day that totem was erected. He came out, and what did he say? He quoted their values. Vince McMahon came out after being accused, his appearance hot on the heels, and he revealed his tagline, then past, now present, forever together. That's the tagline. Same thing as this tagline. 7-Eleven. Something coming? Is something coming? Is that what it is? I don't know. You got to tell me. But I got to tell you, I love the fact that all of you are sharing, and I love the fact that all of you are into this amazing, miraculous world that we're in. Trust in God. Seek God. Don't get stressed out. Don't get worried about nothing. All right? You know, don't worry. You don't see the birds worrying. They got food in the morning. No matter what's coming, if anything's coming at all, God's going to handle it. He's going to deliver us, right? He's going to deliver us, just like he delivered those who prepared the ark. Prepare the ark, people. Prepare the ark. And do me a favor. Follow me on Twitter, will you? Or Facebook or Telegram or anything. Share the channel around. Stop sending me angry emails saying I'm a bad person and I don't know what I'm talking. I get people and then I go out of my way to respond to them and I try to show them love. Don't tell me a comment, oh, you always try to sell your merch. I like my merchandise. And you don't have to buy it. This stuff is free. I don't put things behind a paywall. Thank you for those who are awesome and support me on Patreon and on PayPal. Help out, right? I am not a multi-millionaire. My house, just so you know, everybody's like, oh, look at your pool, so beautiful. This house was a foreclosure. The house that we owned, much smaller, like 3 times smaller, was on the same street. This was Danielle's dream house, right? We couldn't afford this house. And for years, what did we do? Because it went into foreclosure and it sat here for years, for like 5 years. I tell Danielle, oh, let's go. If the Lord wants it, we'll have that house. We used to go and we'd sneak into the back and we'd decide what we were going to do. Fixing the pool that was like just disheveled. It was a nightmare. This place was a nightmare. We were going to do this. We were going to cut down that. We were going to do this. And we did it for years. For years we had faith. They laughed at us when we put in the offer. The offer was the exact same amount of money as our other house. It was very small, which we grew out of because, you know, I came into the family. I was at a previous marriage. I have 2 children of my own that I was raising full time. I met Danielle. She had Anthony. We come together. These children are young, 4, 3, and 2, you know, and we needed a bigger house. Then we had Ethan, and then we get this house, my wife's dream house. Why? By faith. And guess what? This house, which, by the way, I'm in a studio, this was like a mother-in-law apartment. I could have rented this out if we needed to. But this is where I get to do this. It was like God blessed me and gave me this place. So let me tell you something. I'm not like the big-time YouTubers and everything else that you see. You know, there are ways to make a lot of money. I'm just not that business savvy. All right. So thank you for supporting me. Thank you for, you know, doing what you do to make the channel great. And this is a big deal. This novel. That's why I'm always talking about it, you know? And if you can't afford it, email me. I'll send you an e-copy. It's not that expensive. I mean, it's expensive to a lot of people, but really only if you can't afford it, okay? Because it takes a lot of time to respond to people. And I love just getting it out there. Okay, listen. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for coming. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing, and doing all you do. And have the best day ever. And don't forget to tell me in the comment section, what do you know? What do you think's coming? Anything? I don't know. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
September 10th. Mars hangs closer to the Earth than it has in 6,000 years. Like the light that led men from the East to a child in a manger, it could well be a sign of good things to come. Thomas James shall be his name. The world will change because of him. In the small town of Bethel, in a time not unlike our own, a child with a great purpose is born. Years later, alienated by his peers and abused, Thomas suffers a devastating loss. When it appears he has nothing left to live for in the world, this is when his true calling begins. While trying to escape the sinister powers that be, a terrifying vision haunts him. Miraculous events seem to follow the peculiar young man as he struggles to come to terms with what he was born to do. The stage is set. The time is at hand. The truth will rise and a revolution will begin. The startling revelation of who Thomas James is, truly, will change the lives of those around him and set off a chain of events long ago foretold. There is more to this novel than one might think. Inside these pages hides a treasure just waiting to be discovered. So if you've ever wondered if there's more to life, or why it is we suffer, then this story will not only captivate you, it may just open your eyes to a truth that could set you free. Find out what is in us all that makes us heed the calling. Click it.